Live and in full effect. Yes, yes, yes. Create your future self live. We are here. It is 6 p.m. Well, 6:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. Coming out of Dallas, Texas. I am Victor Vanico Johnson, real estate investing consultant. I help people basically create passive income through real estate investing, whether that is active investing or helping passive investors find opportunities to invest into. Laquita Monley is my co-host. She should be jumping in here any second. She is also a real estate investor and also a coach and a minister and speaker. And she will talk to us here in just a minute when she jumps in. So I'm super excited. Oh, look at that. I just mentioned her name and then here she comes. Look at that. Just on time. My goodness. Right on time, Laquita Monley. You sitting in the guest star seat today. All right, you switched it around. Thank you. So very good. I just got through my introduction of me and just introduced yourself. But hey, let the people know who you are.
Hey. Sorry I'm late, everybody. Sorry I am late. I am Laquita Monley, and I am the military spouse that provides work from home opportunity to other military spouses as well as civilians. But today is a great day. We're going to be talking to Miss Patrina Stone. Yes. She's going to be adding some amazing value. I've been waiting a lifetime and a day for this opportunity, right?
I know. Patrina, one of our folks from a year or so ago, she was following us early on.
She was following us when we were still using the cell phones, man.
Yeah, and giving us a lot of support. And, we just want to say thank you so much for that. Yes. You kicking it in. So I'm so glad. This is a rare opportunity we have to put you in the hot seat to talk about your business and what you do. So today, ladies and gentlemen, across the world, across the globe, we welcome to you Miss Patrina Stone, coming up out of the Ohio part of the United States. And Patrina is the president of Croft Hill Properties and Investment LLC. She's a lead realtor. She's also doing some dynamic things up there in the real estate market in the Ohio market. She's going to talk to us about some of her successes and how she works with investors, how she works also with typical buy and sell transactions. But I'm not going to steal all the thunder. Patrina Stone, thank you. Welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm well. Thank you for welcoming me on the show. Going from a guest to now a guest speaker. Appreciate it.
Look at God.
That's right. Always.
Yeah.
God is good.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're going to have a great discussion today. I do want to mention just some of your achievements. You've been in the industry doing this, I believe, for over 10 years now. And not only were you Rookie of the Year in the real estate business, but Quantum Leap Agent 2017, $1 Million Club 2018, Quantum Leap Agent in 2019, $1 Million Club 2019. So much going on. So again, we look forward to picking your brain about the real estate market right now. Is it just as hot in Ohio in the real estate game as it is in many other markets right now?
It's on fire. Dealing with investors, just making sure that we're finding deals. Obviously, deals that were deals last year or deals the year before are not deals this year, because even with investors, we're going into multiple offer situations. With one of my buyers, for example, we've been outbid 6 times. Last Friday, we were outbid by $40,000.
Oh my God!
And we went in $20,000 over asking. So that's the kind of market.
Investor?
Actually, that was one of my regular buyers. My investor got outbid by $20,000 on an auction deal that we were doing, because some of the other deals that we were looking at last week just weren't fitting the model. So, I have a few VIPs that I work with specifically. I have some new ones that are coming in that, pretty much kind of have to be coached along. But just the market is on fire, and you got to be ready. You got to have the funds available.
Yeah.
Don't come in thinking you're going to get something for $5 like the year before.
Right.
You need to be spending $25. That's just an exaggeration. But, it's fun. It's exciting. But like with anything, it has its moments that you're going to be disappointed. Because at 12 o'clock at night when I'm reviewing stuff, and I'm now have a team member, so I have to review stuff with her and go over her paperwork and talk to her about it in the mornings. She's doing the same thing, having to bid, and she's had her first experience with being outbid a couple of times already. But we managed to get a deal to pull through on Friday. So Friday was a up and a happy day too.
Good deal. And that definitely sounds like what's going on here in Texas. I had a young lady in 2019, into 2019, was trying to get on my buyer's list. And I had a property, great property. I needed to offload the property. And at the time, she was getting some contrary information about investing here in Texas. Anyway, long story short, she missed that deal. I sold that deal in January of 2020.
Wow.
And so things being where they are now, she called, she said, hey, is that property still available? If it was, it would not be at that price.
Yeah, like you snooze, you lose right now.
Yeah, like what was worth $50,000 in 2020 and 2019, it's worth, 100,
like 80.
Yeah,
depending on where it's at.
I'd like to read something to both of you ladies. So both of you all in the real estate space. I'm part of LinkedIn, and LinkedIn Finance sends out these things. And so they sent out something yesterday, Sunday, that I want to read just the first couple lines here. And the headline says, housing supply 3.8 million short of demand.
Yep.
It says new data from Freddie Mac reveals the U.S. is 3.8 million single-family homes short of meeting current demand for housing, with the deficit especially acute for entry-level homes. So talking about homes under 200,000, under 250,000. What are your thoughts about that, ladies? Isn't that crazy?
Man,
that is extremely crazy because there's so many buyers, which is what is causing a lot of buyers now to bring additional cash to the table outside of an appraisal. There's, at this point, some sellers are even telling their listing agents that they're not taking escalation clauses, because that's another thing that was outbidding most other buyers. If the agents did an escalation, I had one that occurred with I think you guys saw me post that listing in Cleveland Heights, sold for like 202. That was an escalation win. That was out of 6 offers.
Where did it start?
At that point, we started. I listed at 210 initially, but we reduced it to 199.9 to recreate the look. And then as soon as we did that, those 6 offers came in, and like, boom, we still got over what our bottom number would have been. But the fight just is crazy.
Yeah. So we talked about it. We kind of breezed over it a little bit, but I'd love to get your expertise. There are people looking now, watching the show now. Maybe they're looking to buy a primary home to live in, a residence home. But let's talk a little bit to the investors out there that are looking to buy real estate, and the ones particularly that you're working with. Can you give maybe 3 tips that they should be prepared to do, strategies that you might recommend for them when they're getting ready to make these offers, when they're coming to you and saying, hey, I'm ready to buy some properties. I found one. I love it. We ran the numbers. It looks good. What would be maybe 3 tips you would give to that newer investor to be ready to give the best fight that they can on that offer?
Proof of funds, proof of funds, proof of funds. Cash is king. Yes. I need the cash virtually in my hand the minute I wrote it. And I need all the particulars before we even go to the table. Because here's what the thing is. Wholesaler price is now becoming what was the MLS pricing.
Mm-hmm.
So keep in mind, and it's the same thing that I would tell a seller and a buyer. Keep in mind that this is what is going on in the market. The inventory is low, so the demand is higher. That means your price point for that same $50,000 investment is now maybe 60, and we have to crunch the numbers. So maybe we need to do a little more buy and hold versus a buy and flip,
Mm-hmm.
where we can rent those houses at least for a year to
Mm-hmm.
bring back some of that bottom line,
There you go.
Mm.
then flip it the following year.
I'm
So,
so glad
you
to hear you
know,
say that.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm so glad
that's
to hear you
like
say
my
that.
speech. I
Yeah.
sound like a broken record now to newer investors. Like my regulars, yes, they know that, but we still have to still find some profit in the purchase, but
Mm-hmm.
they're willing to spend a little bit more. I got a couple of packages that I'm working on right now. Got about four over $1 million packages that I'm working on, and it's that still back and forth bid, but now where I would present a letter of intent and get financials, a lot of those buyers, well, sellers rather, are now asking for us to have that proof of funds
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
pre-approval. So now
Yeah.
I'm having to bring that extra $24 million pre-approval to the table in order to get the rest of the financials, whereas an LOI would give me the basics, then we'd go into contract and get the rest. I have to
Mhm.
present that first.
That's
My
really good that
initial
you
little
mentioned.
proof of funds doesn't make it anymore.
That's real good. But and it really just coincides with some things that I've been telling a couple of clients and people who are wanting to be coaching clients. I'm not saying the days of fix and flip fast are gone. I'm just saying if you're new
Yeah.
and your pockets are not heavily loaded,
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
buy it whole. However you're going to
Exactly.
structure that deal, however you're going to finance it, how are you going to fund that deal, I definitely 100% agree with you. Buying and holding right now will be really good. If you can get it, hold it for a little
Yeah.
bit, collect that small residual. Let's look at the market again this same time next year,
Yeah.
and then
Mm-hmm.
see if you can, if selling it at that point is feasible, or by that time it's already in your portfolio. Go on and hold it for 5 years if you can.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
hold
And
it.
another thing people are thinking about or that are doing a lot, again, depending on your market, all of that matters. But
Mm-hmm.
short-term rentals, doing some of the, Airbnb stuff,
Mm-hmm.
being
Mm-hmm.
able to, you're in a market where you got activities, the world is slowly opening back up. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you're comfortable with renting out space, renting out that property as a short term and
Mm-hmm.
really maximizing your numbers.
Yeah.
You got to be very careful. That's a slippery slope with short-term rentals because you could be in a hot season now, like, oh, baby, we killing it. And then come August when everybody back in school, you get zero leads on that property. But just being creative is the whole point. And being a real estate investor, you've got to be ready to pivot. We throw that word out there, of course, with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But as an investor, you might approach it as a flip and then realize it's not biting as quickly, or you spent
Mm-hmm.
more than you intended to up front. And now you, like you said, Patrina, being able to rent it out and get some of that money back is a better idea in that situation. So great guidance on that.
Another opportunity that I present to some of those buy and holds is the other version of short-term rental is for traveling nurses. They
Yeah.
have a hard time
Yeah.
finding spaces because their
Mm-hmm.
assignment may be 3-4 months.
Yep.
So, you can rent instead of renting for the 800, you can rent for $1,000 a month for 3 months.
Yep.
And still make up what you would, but you can still at the end of that turn go back to a regular rental because you would have made what you would have normally
Mm-hmm.
in that 4 month span on that, just depending. But closer to the hospital, the higher obviously the rent would be,
Mm-hmm.
because here in Cleveland, average rents are running between $800 to $1,500 a month. So, especially where I stay, I'm like 10 minutes from the hospital.
Okay.
Rent is about $1,000 to $1,500. Closer to the hospital, up to $2,400 to $3,000 a month.
Okay.
That's good.
So,
That's an excellent plan. Honestly, I never even thought about it. One of my good friends is a travel nurse, and that's an issue she deals with often, depending on where she's taking an assignment at, is where's the closest Airbnb, what's the closest hospital, well, not hospital, but hotel. And do they have that weekly rate, right? Because she's going to be there for a small amount of time. That's a great idea. You, in this small little few minutes that we've been on here, you dropped we've been on 15 minutes. I think you dropped about 10 good nuggets in these 15 minutes. So I really hope my viewers that they have out that something to write with and something to write on, because you're helping a lot of new investors, and some of the ideas that you have, whether you've been in the game a while and single family has been your thing. What you said right at the beginning about those numbers from last year or 2019 aren't matching for this year. You've given them tons of value on how to actually make some things work for them. As you don't have to back away from wanting to be an investor. You just have to go in it with the right mindset and people like yourself on their team to help them make good decisions. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. You just gotta, like, Vince said, pivot with the market, make your money work for you, and then have some of that other money work a different way in other investments. Yes, real estate is great, but take a little bit of that money out and flip it into some other things to build up that fast capital that you can roll it back into something. Even if you don't have that current opportunity, now that's an opportunity for you to make additional funds, but also service a market that doesn't have that opportunity right now. That's the big thing. And keep in mind that right now, a lot of hospitals are getting ready to prepare for those new residents to come into their towns. Big advantage. So if you can go find and spend that 50,000 on an investment property, dress it up really nice, you'll have a couple of residents filled. When I did rentals previously from my past brokerage, I would have rentals filled 10 a week just on those residents coming in town close to the hospital, and they're paying $1,200 to $1,500 a month, plus their utilities. They're renting a whole house. So be ready for your market and know when to change with it. So like March, April, a lot of residents are looking to already put their deposits and secure a space for that May introduction. Into between May and July is when they start moving in as to when their assignments are getting ready to start at those hospitals. Keep in mind, you got to know your market and the time when things are spinning.
Yeah. So, quick question for you. So I've had this discussion with a couple, new investors again. So when it comes to dealing with a real estate agent, would you say that there is a difference in realtors that have worked with investors or that are actual investors themselves versus ones that mostly do, residential space and stuff like that? And should a new investor, should that be a concern for them to just get any realtor to work with them to help them find deals? I'm looking outside of wholesale right now. Just if they were looking for a real estate agent to work with, do you see that having that expertise makes a difference, or does it not? Does it matter? Does it, as long as they know their market, they're good? Does it, do you understand what I'm asking there?
Yeah, I do. Coming from both spaces, yes, it makes a difference. And that's my opinion, makes a difference, because my experience dealing with investors and regular buyers, I know what they're looking for. I know what their bottom line is. I know that an investor needs that T12 report to know what the expenses are, how they can make their money back, versus if a newer agent or an agent that really doesn't do that. I actually have that scenario going on right now. That agent is primary buyer seller, but not necessarily dealing with the investor to the level that I deal with investors. And I'm actually walking her through her seller side of this, which helps because some of the documents that I was requesting, she wasn't sure what I was asking for. So, if you do get with a seasoned investor, which I was blessed with in the beginning about 4 years ago, they would teach you what you're looking for.
Right.
And from that, it showed me that I need to pick people. I mean, obviously you need to vet who you're working with, because all money is not good money.
Right.
No matter how much they have in their pocket, that is a big rule. All money is not good money. And you got to know who you're working with, because you will go to jail. You will go to jail.
Or go to an insane asylum and driving yourself crazy working with somebody you're just not working with.
But I've been very fortunate, and I thank God for that, because I definitely believe praying over your business and praying for what you are looking for in your business and how you're choosing to help people makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And I have wonderful investors that teach me. I'm able to work with the attorneys and call them directly without having to talk with my investor, ask the questions, make sure I got everything written on the contracts. Plus, I have great support at the brokerages that I've worked with. So it goes hand in hand to service your client, the investor, whether it's the buyer or the seller, to make sure everybody is in a win-win situation and the process moves smoothly.
Like, you really just echoed something right there that Vic and I talk about all the time. All of those individuals that you just named out are key components of your power team.
Yep.
And when everybody is on one accord and everyone can work with everyone freely, it makes it so the process so much smoother. Like what you said, you don't always have to run through that investor in order to talk to that attorney, because you built up great relationships with everybody. So we all, you all know you're working for that same mission. You have the same end goal in mind, and it's easier to do that. Vic and I were sharing some of this information on a Clubhouse last week. Vic, was it last week?
Last week, yep.
Yeah, last week.
God, I gotta get an iPhone.
Come on in.
Get the iPhone. Come on in. Yeah, but a lot of young investors, even I've met some people who've been investing for a while, and their lack of power team members it just amazes me. You can't build alone.
Right.
You can't build alone, and some people are just necessary to the process. Like you said, you will go to jail.
Yeah.
You will go to jail.
I don't
I don't want to do with that. And you bring up a good point, Laquita, like this teams. And so just before you jumped in, Patrina was telling me that she's built her team now and her real estate business. And so I'm assuming this is part of the Croft Hill Properties and Investments. Is that correct, Patrina?
Yeah, it would be the sub name Croft Hill Property Group.
Okay.
As their real estate, but I do business on that top level. Yeah.
Okay.
So
talk to us about building your team. How you built your team? What this last year been looking like? Let's share, inspire some folks.
I met her through another affiliation, and she had the drive just to want to be in the business and build success and wanting to help people. She's actually a business owner. And she was phenomenal. So we talked about it. I told her about my goal of building a real estate team, and she was on board. Part of, giving back to my team is that I assist them with, getting in school and making sure that they have all the things that they need. I think that's important as being a new team lead. So essentially now it's jumping out of my comfort space and growing.
Yeah.
So teaching her and walk through her tests with her. She passed. She closed. She's getting ready to close her first deal effective Friday. So that she followed the steps. She followed the advice. We walked through our contracts. I review all of them with her. So, she's doing well so far. She's only been in the business officially a month, and she's getting ready to close her first deal.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
Congrats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
it.
yeah.
That's what it's about, building up some other people. I think I posted that yesterday as my Sunday inspiration. Even when you're lifting somebody else up, automatically you're lifting yourself up too, right? Because they're a reflection of what you poured into them. And I'm just so excited for you and your business, because now she sees that you've already invested in her, and just the return that you're going to get from that, the confidence as she gets, deeper into the business, you're going to see great returns in your business and in her growth and in your own growth. So I'm just really happy for you. And you also mentioned, I think your son is doing some wholesaling, right?
Yeah. My son just started wholesaling, and my other son is coming back to Cleveland to do rehabs with and for my clients. My sister is actually my project manager, so she's in charge of doing all the rehabs for my out-of-state clients, and she does a fantastic job. She get on my nerves sometimes, but that's what business is. We agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, the job gets done, because I still project manage at that level above her to make sure things are moving along, because I'm still in charge of the project, even though she manages the staff. And, true test of that was last year, after my dad passed and we were in Jamaica. We were managing from Jamaica and having that house that just sold from the 6 multiple offers still being run while we were not here.
Yeah. See,
that's a good team. That's a great team. That's a great team. Yeah. Beautiful. And even just speaking to how your family is involved, that's how you build wealth.
Yeah.
That's how you build wealth. Everything is circulating through you guys, through your team. That's amazing. Like, you need to come back and do a show on that just by itself.
Right.
Because I need to know your secrets. I need to know your secrets, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Look, it's nothing that you're not already doing, Lakia. It's nothing that you're not already. I've gotten pointers just from being a part of this group, just talking about it, listening to others, and just listening to your other guest speakers in order to make my business grow.
There you go.
I've got a mentor that's mentoring me to tighten my own business model to make sure that, I can lead effectively. So, like you said, you can't grow alone, but you can't build business alone either. You got to have those different parts and influence, because there's somebody who always has a little bit more experience that you can learn from.
Got to keep learning. Continue until they drop us out down below. We got to keep on learning every single day that we're here. You mentioned Patrina. That's right. You mentioned that you work with some out-of-state clients. So can you talk to us a little bit about that, and then also provide us with a way that people can contact you if they would like to reach out to you for real estate needs?
I do a lot of stuff on IG when I post. I do have stuff that I post online through my Facebook. Patrina Stone is just regular Patrina Stone, and on IG Patrina Stone _ Realtor, and just displaying the projects as they go, my walkthroughs. I post on my storyboard. I think yesterday you guys might see me doing the new construction. I have a client that we've gone from touring houses for a year to now we're getting ready to build. And the model that I actually showed on the story is what they're going to be building here in the next month.
Nice.
So,
Very nice. Okay.
But
Yeah, we got to
invest-
definitely follow that. Patrina Stone. Good. Thank you, Laquita, for dropping that in there. Yep.
I'm trying to get your IG up as well. I'll put that link in there because people definitely need to reach out to you.
Yeah, they can reach out. We'll have a consultation. We'll talk about, just what their goals, their interests are, how I can customize what they're looking for. So I have people everywhere from Israel, California, Florida, New York. My base investors here have things everywhere. So I may be buying stuff in Cincinnati, Ohio for them. Just run it through my principal and we're writing deals. But obviously I make sure that it makes sense for what they told me that they're looking for. And if there's things that need to be tweaked, then I tweak it for them.
Right. Okay. Sounds beautiful. So, we dropped the information in there. Please follow Patrina Instagram. You can follow her at Patrina C Stone _ Realtor and get some great information. Looks like she's starting to drop out content out there showing her live and in the field with some of her clients and doing business. So I'm always curious because we invest all over the country. You mentioned the rental market is paying in that $1,000 to $1,500 zone. So I'm thinking some of those properties are in the $100,000 to $150,000 price point. Is that what you're kind of seeing in and around Cleveland as far as investment rental properties? Is that kind of a good price point? What would that get you if you're looking to buy under 150,000, or can you even buy still up there under 150?
You can still. I just closed a deal for $80,000.
Okay.
That build in everything that we're looking for. We'll be pulling in. It's a duplex, so that will bring in $1,500 a month. Okay. And my client is only going to be paying water. The tenants
no
pay
HOA?
No HOA. I try to stay away from those as much as I can, depending on the level of the investor. Newer investor, mid-level investor. We would do things. I try to do off-market and on-market sales. So I don't just say we're doing stuff on the MLS, because I try to find the best deal that fits what we're trying to do and accomplish. We're running about on a bigger model, 8 to 12% cap. Smaller models, we're going anywhere up to 18% return. So we just got to find the right fit. This particular house, I think she's going to be getting like a 15 to 16% return on her investment.
That's great.
So,
Yeah.
She's going to be on her 5th, and actually the guy we just bought the house from is finishing up another house that I'll be looking at on Wednesday for her. So what I'll do on my IG and my Facebook, I'll walk that property for anybody interested in seeing what that is about. And then I'll explain the process. And then I vet her tenants for her as a part of our agreement. I vet them for her.
Yeah.
And I set up, that's for my premium, set that up for them where the tenant knows how to pay the rent via Venmo. So they're not necessarily trying to send a check every month. And she gets her rent on time every month. All the tenants that I vetted for her have been in her properties now for 2 years. No issues, and rents are always on time. And again, my project manager does her maintenance for her.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
So
that's a nice system. That's an amazing system.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, so they can drop in with you and be able to get everything kind of set up for them. If they decide to invest at the premium level, you pretty much, it's done for you type of coaching. And that's a big part of it, because I've worked with clients where they struggle. maybe they get through the initial thing and then they move to the second one, and here they are calling again, like, hey, I missed a step, I need some help. And so to be able to offer that guidance to set up the rent collection for them, I suppose the application process, all that kind of stuff can be done through the premium package. That's a nice offering. I love that.
Yeah. I guess we have a question down here, but I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know, Robin, what you talking about? What's blockchain?
Give us some context.
I don't know. I was hoping she was about to come with something else. Maybe it was a typo. She fat fingered the words. I don't know.
Maybe so. Like I was like, I don't know.
I'm not sure what blotter is. Google dictionary.com says a sheet or pad of blotting paper.
It's also the police blotter for those of us that like to know where the police going. So the days of chasing the ambulance in the police car just get you, CB system, and you know where they're going, right? I'm pretty sure that's not what the question really is. So maybe we can get some context.
Maybe it's a podcast or something like that, and not quite sure.
Could be.
Yep. So Patrina, so obviously we love, you're on Create Your Future Self Live. And again, we're so happy because it was about a year or so ago when I know you were following us, you were on, and you've still been in and out periodically throughout the year. But one of the questions we always want to ask our guests is, how are you creating your future self? What does your future self look like? So let's push it out 5 years. What is your business, yourself professionally looking like?
Professionally, obviously still doing real estate. I'm getting ready to study for my brokers. I put that off last year due to my father, but that I'll have my brokers, should have my brokers by the end of the summer. Okay. And then moving forward, I'll be taking the exam for North Carolina. So I'll be a licensed agent in North Carolina as well.
Okay.
Same company. I myself am going to be investing in Airbnbs and the nursing, the short-term rentals as well for my clients. So, that's part of building my own personal wealth, and my children are going to be participating in that. Right now, they're in the process of doing small investing in the stocks to build up what they're going to be bringing to the table to invest in the business. So we'll be talking to an attorney at the end of the summer to set up their trusts so they can have their real estate portion of the business flowing as well. So they're all learning, and they are in the business.
Very good. That's a beautiful thing. I love hearing that. You froze up on us a little bit. There you go. Yeah.
I'm checking out the comments here. Robert said it was in reference to something Patrina mentioned earlier. I didn't get yeah. At what part, Robin, what was she saying at that? And when you heard that statement, maybe we can get some clarity.
Not sure on that either. Yeah. Okay. So, good. She switched over. Okay. So thank you for sharing on that, Patrina. I think we always like to find out where you're going. What's the goal? What does this thing look like in the future, right? Because that's what it's about. And I just love that your future self is really the development of your kids' future self. Like what you're doing is developing their wealth, their intuitiveness, their business acumen about real estate. And I assume they've seen you over these 10 years grinding and doing your thing, and seeing you getting recognized in your industry for the work that you do and helping families get put in these great houses and whatnot. And so I'm really excited for you and your kids to see you growing together. You're helping them, and very rarely, I don't know how often, I'm gonna be honest, in 2 years we've been doing this show, not to say that nobody's not doing it, but to hear it about having the trust being built for your kids at this earlier age, right? We see this in other cultures. We don't see it as often in the Black culture, just being honest with you. And we certainly don't hear that talked about as much. But I work with a lot of real estate people, and you see some of these closings, people are doing the closing in the trust and making sure that the babies' names are already in the trust. And so they're protecting for generations after generations. So we applaud you, Patrina, for having the wherewithal to even do that and having your kids forcing that upon them at this time. I mean, that's a brilliant thing. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you still hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, good deal.
So readjust my earpiece. Sorry.
Okay. So any additional comments, thoughts, anything you want to share with the community as we come towards the wrap up here?
There we go.
Know your credit score and know what you are wanting to build for your family, because it's a motivator. My kids are a motivator, and I want to thank my ex-husband for that, because he forced my hand to move a little bit further and faster than I actually had planned on. Because I started my real estate business with owning my snowplow truck company.
Okay.
He quit his job, and I had to become extremely resourceful to cover my debts. And my kids got out there and we hustled together. I took a little bit of money out of my retirement. I bought a truck and studied for the real estate exam. Took the classes. I just delayed getting into real estate because I needed to focus my time and energy on them and everything that they were doing. But on the weekends, my kids were in the truck with me at 4:30 in the morning, plowing driveways. They learned how to shovel driveways and the stairs, obviously age appropriate. They shoveled the stairs, dropped salt for all of my senior clients. And I taught my older son to drive the truck. So he was driving the truck by the time he was 16, 17. We were making that money. And we didn't have any problems. We went right on through. They, obviously kids were still wanting to be kids, but I made it do what it was supposed to do. I got up every morning as a mom and did everything by 6 o'clock, got them together for school, and went to work as a full-time social worker.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
They can do what they do. That's amazing. Like,
So
wow.
You can do it. You just need to have a plan. Don't delay what you can do today. Like I said, I thank my ex-husband for pretty much forcing my hand a little bit sooner than what I had initially planned. I didn't get comfortable. I got comfortable because I had a plan. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. But I have to move it along and stay prayerful. It doesn't matter. Just stay prayerful and stay guided, because once you stay on that path, that there's so many doors and opportunities that will come. I mean, I was just floating through Facebook one evening while sitting with one of my elderly clients, and you guys were on here. So I just stayed tuned. I listened. I got on here every time that I could when I had good reception. Listened and participated. But I learned from who you had. So now here we are. But in that time frame, I've also grown and my business has grown.
That's right.
That's awesome. That's an awesome testimony. Let me just say that. That's an awesome testimony. It really, that hit me in a real good spot, because that's really why me and Vic do it, right? We want to add value to those who view us, and really, the question Vic's always asks, help you create your future self. Like the things that we've gone through or the people that we've met along the way, they all agree to be on the show because they just want to give back and help somebody else build theirs. And so it's just really good to hear you give that testimony on how tuning into this show has been able to be that benefit to you, that it's doing what we wanted to do.
Yeah. And you're doing the same to help other people now. You know, you're doing your thing, posting on social, using that platform to just give people just that little bit. And, you know, one thing I tell people, because it's been told to me, like, just keep talking, keep doing it, you know, add value in what you're saying, you know, but, you know, you never know what words hit people a certain way, you know, and how it's going to have them take action in their world, you know. And so you might have intended for that statement to land a certain way and cause it to get them to do one thing, but it gets them to do something completely different. But the inspiration came out of that same statement. And so just keep doing your thing. We applaud you for your growth. And again, I just can't salute you enough for what you're doing for your kids and how they've been able to watch you evolve as a business and as a woman. You know, that's what this is about. We got to give people their roses while they're here. And, you know, I want to definitely give you that and give you your hand claps and applause for fighting through and overcoming. And look at you now. Beautiful thing.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Amazing. Wow. Well, thank you so much, like Vic said, for coming on, sharing your story, sharing your journey, your successes. You've given amazing value to anyone who's watched today, whether they're in the real estate space or not, because really the processes that you've discussed today are applicable to any type of business. Building that team, the transparency, the trust factor, and learning how to work together and, you know, trusting people to be able to do their job. Even the story you shared about having to be at your father's homegoing service in Jamaica, but yet your team being in place back here in the States, still functioning smoothly because you have the right people on your team. You took the time to build that, and it is growing with or without you being here. Like, they still do their job the way that it needs to be done, and everything flows smoothly. That's a testament to your leadership, because there's a big difference between leaders and managers, and that's a leadership role that you've assumed, and you're great at it. Is the reason why your team and those that are partnered with you are being successful in what they're doing. So congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's not easy. So don't, for the newer investors that are on this live right now, it's not going to be easy, but you have to be ready to just face the challenge and have some good people around you to help you face that challenge, because sometimes the road is going to get sticky and it's going to be disappointing. But at the end of it all, see the light at the tunnel, because that success is going to be so amazing that you're just going to be like, man, I remember when, and be the testimony for the next person coming up behind you.
All right. Say it. I hope somebody was listening right there. Somebody I know is watching that I heard y'all was listening. All right. Focus on the success at the end. Focus on where you're going with this thing. Don't get overwhelmed. I love that. Exactly. So thank you again, Patrina, for joining us tonight. I'm sure we're going to have you on again sometime in the future, probably when you get ready to hit that next milestone in your business. Make sure you reach out to us and let's get you on here and definitely share and inspire some more folks. And again, best of luck to you and many blessings to you throughout the rest of this year in your real estate business.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. All right, folks. Well, that's going to shut us down. You want to close us out, Laquita?
Yeah, we are almost at the top of the hour. Patrina, thank you. Thank you guys so much for our viewers that are looking across Facebook, Periscope, not Periscope because it's gone. I got to stop saying that, right?
I know.
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and for those that are viewing us on Roku TV and Apple TV, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's Create Your Future Self Live. Miss Patrina Stone is our guest today. We will be back next Monday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have another amazing guest that's going to drop some great value on us. Miss Margot Williams is coming up. So mark your calendar, set your notifications, and we will see you guys next week. Take care. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.